Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be mainly focusing on a code that just trades at a small amount of Satoshis. In today's video will be BTT, which right now has a bid of 5 Satoshi and an ask price of 6. If you're looking to buy it or even sell it fast, and you want to sell it or buy it right now, you oftentimes if you look, you could get cheaper prices or better prices, depending on which side, meaning cheaper prices to buy, a little higher prices to sell than those two numbers of 6 and 5. Meaning instead of buying at 6 Satoshi and selling at 5, you can use the Binance coin to buy and sell the market at a little bit better each time. Basically, you'd be buying at about 5.5 and selling at that price. Okay, we'll get to that. But what I've been doing is just trying to hold BNB and just get into something out of something really fast. And earlier today, no longer in it, although I still like it. It's just I'm now into BTT. I was in, what was I in? ICX. And again, I still like this as the daily time frame just looks so sweet. As we're having excitation right now of the 18 average. On the 15-minute term time frame, I got into this in here. It was breaking 1,000, and I sold some at 10:30. I bought it back at 10:10, then I sold it again at 10:30, then I sold it all right now around this price, around 10:16ish or so. And I did that to get into BTT, which we are going to show right in here. On the daily term for this, I liked it. I like how this is performing. To me, it looks like we are having excitation of this. But it's an interesting numbers game when you have to understand this, because a lot of this does reflect back to the Binance coin. Hourly chart. This is where I have a sell order. I feel if it's going to break this resistance, it should go up a pretty decent amount. And quite frankly, 3,000 is kind of an interesting number for where it would top if we have a significant move. Okay, let's explain further why to the case. Now, another thing that's going to drive this market up and down, especially this one, is the actual Binance coin, which is really what the ratio is. And I'm a little bit bearish short term on this right now, so playing against something like this is what I'd want to do. As we have this move in here in BNB at 5 o'clock that does this, and it's been showing a lot of weakness amongst the 18 average of lows. So if this goes down, then generally speaking, the other one's going to go up and vice versa when this goes up. But furthermore, within that ratio, and even again, if you just wanted to buy BTT, let's bring that up in itself. BTT against Bitcoin, Bittorent. You see the lines like this. This has been telling you that ever since September the 7th, 5 days ago at 3 o'clock, the bid ask has not changed. It has firmly been 5 and 6, with the last trade coming at 6. And it's just going to keep going back and forth. If you want to buy this, you're going to buy it right now at 6 Satoshi. If you want to sell it at 5, that's what you're going to do. If you want to sell it now, you're going to get 5. If you want to buy it at 5, well, you have to put your order in and really have to wait your turn, because there is a heavy log both at the 5 and 6. And I don't know how long it would take. Because another interesting thing would be, okay, how about this? Why don't I just have a sell order here? Say you sold this right in here at 6. You had a sell order in there from a Coon's age, and it hit. Well, now I'm going to put a buy order for 5. And then when you hit the 5, you put a sell order for 6. How often you would flip back and forth, I'm not sure. But that's one strategy you can use in trying to trade that. But that's not the strategy that I want to talk about in this. Now with Binance coin, its price against Bitcoin is 0.002, which is about a 500 to 1 ratio. Which means the price, if you're selling this, would be 500 times 5, 2,500 Satoshi against the Binance coin, and 3,000 Satoshi to buy against such. So when we get into this on the BTT, when we consider it just now, if you are wanting to buy into it, but you don't want to pay that 6 number, you got Bitcoin. Well, first buy Binance coin with your Bitcoin, and then buy your BitTorrent right now at about $27.55. Say you own it and you want to get out of it right now. Instead of selling it off at 5, Well, sell it off to Binance Coin and then sell your Binance Coin to whatever it is you're looking to buy, or to your Bitcoin or Tether or whatever. So those would be one example of it right there. So this market's going to go up and down on two levels of the price moving up and or three levels. The price moving up and down against Bitcoin. The Binance coin, how it does, because the ratio goes from 500 to 520 to 550 or down to 450, it's going to change it accordingly. But amongst it, if we see it at 2758, that's in between the 25 and the 3000 number, 250 on each side. So right there is telling you the market is unsure which number it's going to take out between the 5 and the 6 handle right now. Albeit it's really showing that, well, before it was just at the lower end here, so it was more thinking, because it's only 150 points away from the 25, and thus it was 350 away from the 3. Of course, that's Binance coin related, of course, too. I don't know uh, more after that, but as far as the bid asks are concerned, let me show you the Binance coin for that. And what we can see is that there's 170 Bitcoin worth at the buy order at 5. 110, and this is how each one after that goes. Then on the top, all of these sellers, 104 on the 6 handle. So it's a little easier, and it's going to be hard right now either way. You can see how the 5s and 6 are very firm. That you could say maybe it's more likely that's going to take the 6 out, although it really, you can see why the ratio should be right at 50% in the middle when it's like this. But if you're looking to sell at 6, you got to wait for 1.7, 1.75 of a billion to sell before you, and almost 3.5 billion of these coins before you are able to get in yourself. So it's really a waiting game here and there amongst such. So another key factor is if one of these gets taken out, especially if someone comes in large, then one move is going to make significant difference. When you're at these levels, going up from 6 to 7 is like 1/6 or 18% of an increase. It'd be a little bit even more on the downside, going from 6 to 5 and 5 to 4, all that type of stuff. So therefore, if this thing ends up, if the 6 number gets taken out, or if it's even getting close to being taken out, meaning you see the grip hold of the amount of coins available at that slot goes way lower, maybe there's only 20 or 15 Bitcoin left at that number, well, this most certainly will go up with it. So if it were hypothetically at the point where the people were buying this quick, now all of a sudden maybe there's only again 15, 20, 30 Bitcoin available at the 6 handle, and maybe even stuff gets added to the bids at 5, then this will go up accordingly within that market, which makes it an interesting level to have a sell order near the ratio multiply 6. Whether you consider maybe going a little above or below, well, I can make a case for both of it. And well, the case above it is because if it looks like it's taken out, that means we're probably going to have to cross above the 3,000 number. And, well, it has to take it out completely to do that. But if it's so close to the point where there's only 20 Bitcoin to take it out, well, this could be at like 29, 29.10, because the probability odds that it does becomes high. All right, then. So I'm just going to well, finish it off. Just want to go over that little bit here. I'm putting a bunch of videos out today. At least one more, which is gold and silver. But I'm waiting for a little bit. Going to wait for the end of the day after 4 or 5 o'clock on that one. Very volatile day it's had today. But just thought about this, and again, turn my ICX into this. And that's one thing I like about playing this game is get into one, out of the other, just quick and just roll over and just see how fast I can do things. As this is, but I started with 9.4 BNB. It's actually up to about 10.25 now after the positive trade on the ICX. Because if I load in this, I can see that my order I got in at 14.05 at 27.65. I leave a small amount back, and even more than I need, just to cover other fees. Maybe another trade comes in where I'm doing a ratio trade or something. I'm going to have to use some of this to pay for the fees. And in here you can see that the bid and ask are in place. My next sell order, if you can even see it on here, is at 29.45. And I'll sell about 20% or so of what I bought to start off with, and then try to get it back. For earlier today, that's what happened. Let me just go to it and show you how that worked. Probably use the 4-minute time frame for this because that should be sufficient. Even the 1 minute, I guess, would be. Because I didn't get into it until I think it was breaking. I bought it here breaking as it was getting above 1,000. So then I had an automatic seller hit at 10.29. And then I put a buy order in for around a little like 10.08 or something, which would have hit here. And then I sold again at around 10.30. And then I just recently got out here at pretty much around this price at 10.16. And really all I'm doing is just sharing my ideas. Everything you do is always your own risk and your own reward. Again, I think ICX is ready to break higher. Higher volatility in BTT though. And this one is showing me a little more like it's ready to go now. I like how after establishing this level of resistance here, I have this little push higher, and then just the last few days what it's basically doing in here, and the possibilities for it to have a huge move. But most likely for me, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30, as I'm doing this. I'm gonna reassess the situation later tonight, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and what do I want to be holding as I go to bed? Do I want to hold into something of a less riskier position, which is just keeping it in Binance Coin, betting against Binance Coin against Bitcoin or in Bitcoin, or betting against it against the dollar or with the tether? And well, last night I was with the tether and I had small gains in doing so. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.